Landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess. And just like Grandma always used to say, a donut in the mouth is better than a hot dog up the butt. She was exactly right. But today we're going in on the Sencut Crowley, and if you don't know, this came from Tim's School of Fish. He was selling a bunch of knives off that he didn't have the time to carry, and I got this one for 33 bucks, which was the right knife at the right price. And Tim, thank you for that. But what we've got here is we have got wood scales. I'm not sure what kind. You got a pocket clip, which is tip up, and that is the Lord's carry. Flipper tab, thumb studs, and button lock. So let's flick the bean on this. The blade's a little over 3 inches, just a hair, and it's a D2 blade, if I can read this little tiny thing. And after the disappointment of the Kaiser Cyber blade and all the discomfort and headaches of carrying Temu knives, I just wanted a few days with something that I knew was going to carry well. This did that. The way all these scales are broken down and chamfered and how smooth everything is, it carried in the waistband quite well. I did find out that this pocket clip can handle going over both the waistband and the belt, which was a really, really nice find that made things a lot easier. Apparently the pocket clip going over the belt is my new metric because I have to wear a belt at work where I didn't used to have to wear one. But I had this with me, and of course I did a bunch of cutting plastic on it. I fed it a few pieces of really, really nasty cardboard at work. Some of the stuff we get there is just absolute murder on a knife's edge. And the cutting geometry on it was pretty good. It didn't hang up like the last couple of knives that I did. It didn't give me any problems. That's probably because you got a nice high flat grind right here. You know, the bevel doesn't end up flat anywhere. But let's see how the edge is doing after, what I did to it. Yeah, the edge is still fine. And that's the thing, is, again, with the D2, the 9CRs, all that stuff, you can reliably expect them to perform pretty well because the heat treatment on those is totally dialed in no matter who's making them. Like, someone has to really mess up to find steels like these that are not working right. Now, I'm kind of curious about something, so let's see what a strop does and whether or not it cleans up that cut a little bit more. So, if you don't have a strop, you should go ahead and get one for yourself. A buddy of mine made this one, and it was like 22 bucks for the strop. And even though I was advised not to, I'm just using some black buffing compound on this side and some white buffing compound on this side to smooth everything out. And, you guys have seen after some sharpening on that one video that I did that the strop made a big difference right out of the gate. And part of that's removing the burr, and part of that's re-refining the edge. And of course, this white stropping compound, one of the problems you have is some of that stuff gets stuck to the blade. And that just kind of comes with the territory of not quite doing it the right way exactly. So let me see if I can get rid of some of this. But yeah, it's always helpful to have a strop of some kind available to you. Back in the day, I used to just run this down the edge of a wood table or something like that to knock the burr off. But I was also sharpening these things on a bench grinder. So that tells you where I used to be years and years ago. Oh yeah, that strop made a huge difference in a much cleaner cut. Yeah, I like that. So yeah, if you don't have a strop, invest in one. It can buy you a lot of time between sharpenings, and I would highly advise getting the right compounds for it, the diamond compound, all that. You can get away with buffing compound, but the intentionally designed compounds, the diamond compounds, all that, the small microns, those tend to be a lot more effective. But that's besides the beside. That was a long tangent about stropping and everything else. So my thoughts on this one are it's a really good carry. The only downside that I have found so far, like when I'm carrying this in the waistband, the show side is tucked up against my waist, and at work I tend to sweat a good bit, and this side is a lot nicer and smoother still because this wasn't pressed up against myself. And this side you might be able to see some of the luster's gone. The grain doesn't look as good because it soaked up sweat and then dried out. And that's the only thing really missing with this is there's not some kind of coating to protect the surface. It could have been oiled or something like that, but I don't know whether or not that would help me out, because the other thing too is, like, when my hands get really dried out, it tends to slide around a little bit, like like all the knives that don't have some kind of texturing on them, you know, my hands get super dried out from opening cardboard boxes day in, day out. And this is not the worst that they've been in a while. And it's still a little slippery to handle. But, you know, that's something that's easily solved. It's not like that's really a big, hairy deal. But, you know, my opinion of this thing is definitely good. This is a good carry knife. It's good for my purposes. Anybody that needs a basic folding knife at a reasonably cheap price, it's really hard to go wrong with this one. I enjoyed carrying it, and I'll probably come back to this once I clear the backlog out, just to have something comfortable to carry that I enjoy. And, you know, this fits the bill for the things that I want in a knife and the things that I really, really missed whenever I was doing Temugeddon and carrying the Cyberblade. Man, I wish that Cyberblade was better. I really do. Let me get one more good cut with this just because I can. Yeah. So again, invest in a strop and get better compounds than I used here. When I had the money to spend on compounds, I'm going to get another strop and, you know, have another option for getting things sharper than they were. So, again, Tim, thanks for the sale on this. Thank you for looking at my crap. Subscribers, you guys are awesome. You guys are still coming in every day. I'm so grateful. Comments, I love some feedback. Let me know what you think about this thing. And all that being said, thanks for listening to me ramble, and y'all have a nice day.